listening to Chef Life by Cottage Foods.
Hi guys, welcome to Cottage Foods Chef Life podcast number 1. We're here with Josh from Goldsborough Hall. Welcome, mate.
Hello, mate. You alright?
Yeah, good. Cheers, buddy. Good. So yeah, just here today to do some filming with Josh. Look at some of his dishes and what he's doing in terms of the culinary scene here at Goldsborough Hall. He's been here how long now, mate?
Just come up for 18 months now.
18 months, awesome. You've really turned the place around as well, haven't you? Like,
yeah, it's going well, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because you got, what, AA rated, was it?
We've got 3 rosettes, so we've gone in with 3.
Yeah.
And then we've got put in a Michelin guide as well, so.
Right. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Yeah. I think it's what I really like about this place, a really unique concept with your own garden. Like, you've sort of focused quite a lot on that in terms of fresh produce and stuff. And
yeah, so we work quite closely with the gardener, and we try and plan our menus around the seasons and what it is.
Yeah.
We can use and what time of year and how we're going to play it in the in the space that we've got.
Awesome. It's quite unique, especially given Yorkshire. You think I feel more chefs would be doing that. Whereas, we met the guys at Pine and they do a great job with local produce within the sort of vicinity. But again, I think you're really pioneering around here in terms of the guys we deal with. That kind of focus, which I think is really awesome. So just want to know a bit more about you, buddy, where you started, how you got to here and stuff.
So I think before I was in London, at Chappelle, with the Galvin brothers. I did for 4 years down there. Quite a busy place, and the London life, it's good. It was nice, but it's also nice to sort of step away and come to a bit of a slower place and
really make your mark here type thing.
Yeah, well, going from hundreds of covers to 30 covers a night, you've got a bit more time. Plus, you won't get that garden in the centre.
No, I mean? So,
do you know what I mean? We've got a bit of time to forage, and the first hour of our morning, from spring and summer, is effectively gardening and picking and digging things up, which
fantastic.
It's quite nice.
Yeah. Have you had to change how you approach cooking with that, or?
Well, a little bit, because obviously we sit down and we plan everything out with the gardener. Try and map out when things are going to be ready and try and play it cleverly. And then obviously we get a heat wave and everything is ready all at the same time. So Mother Nature doesn't really work how you expect it to. So it's a bit of a panic, and it's like, what are we going to do with all this produce? So we've definitely done a lot of interest in ferments and preserves and chutneys and ketchups and jams, and it's been quite. Yeah, it was quite challenging in summer because everything was ready and it was in abundance.
You've got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And do you think from this this experience versus London, do you think that's something you'll keep in your cooking going forward? You'll try and work with that, things growing?
It's always, you can get some lovely suppliers down there and, with things that you can buy and get hold of, but it's never going to be as good as picking it yourself or, growing something to a certain size and that you wouldn't normally get from a supplier, or you want something specific doing, and if you want to use the flowers of that, so you let it go to flower, or you want to use it as a little adolescent vegetable or whatever. So you've got a lot more control over
how you're utilising it.
You sort of envisage and how to do it. But it is a bit of a learning experience. Organic farming. It's
right. Okay.
It's definitely got its challenges. It's, you expect something to be a certain size, like you get from the supermarket, and you realise that you haven't pumped it full of chemicals, so it's half the size, and it tastes, obviously a lot different. And a lot of it's tasting a lot better because it hasn't got that sort of water content to it. So,
do you think that's the way quite a lot of the sort of higher end chefs are going to start going in terms of growing their own and that? I think
if you can do it, 100% do it, even if it's just like a few micros or a few herbs or. You don't need much space to grow some tomatoes or cucumbers or something. We're fortunate because we've got quite a bit of space in the garden. But I would definitely say just do something. Just
a bit crazy, yeah. And how do you see your menu progressing with that? Are you trying to grow sort of things like wasabi? Is a bad example, but an example.
We grew some wasabi crust this year. We obviously we used quite a lot of micros and things that we grow. That's nice and easy, but just different cultivars, really. We grew so many peppers this year and different types of peppers and trying to find what works for us. And, you think it's going to go one way, but it goes another. And, it's all part of the fun, isn't it? So you've got to be quite versatile and adapt to what it is. And
I suppose your menu will lend itself to being able to adapt quite frequently, won't it?
It's good. It's quite easy to change dishes then because, you've got something that's going to be ready all week and then, in 2 weeks' time, something else is going to be ready and you're going to be gone through that. So it keeps it fresh. So you've got to constantly keep.
Yeah. And what would you say, since moving here, what's in your head, what have you sort of changed in terms of your approach, or anything new that you've sort of been playing with, which you haven't worked with before? And
I suppose just really just the preserves, really. With, you know, playing around with certain vinegars. We quite like our ferments and, you know, making our own vinegars from scratch.
Yeah.
So we've done some interesting ones with, you know, we try to do a seasonal vinegar with everything that's in the garden. So everything like, you know, like a local terroir, effectively.
Yeah, lovely.
So what's growing in the garden in spring on, you know.
Yeah.
And we put it all into this big mass vinegar, and we see what comes out. And the summer one, you know, we did an early summer one and a late summer one.
Yeah.
And then we use them and implement that in our pickling and preserving and dressings and sauces. And you know, I think the summer one's got like 25 different things that are all grown in a garden. It's all, yeah, it gets quite complex, some of the flavours. It's, you know, it's really interesting, and, you know, of what it is we've got to grow in such a, it's only 12 acres here, so, you know, you've got a lot going on.
Yeah, there's a lot to manage, isn't there, really, with that? It's, you guys, you seem quite integral to that management. Are you sort of driving what the guy's planting and how
so we sit down at the start of the year. So now is we've already started to sit down, and we basically sit there with a website and we click all the seeds and things that we want, put it in the basket, and then try and organise it of when we can, you know, we'll put something in early in one bed, and then we can get through that by summer, and then, you know, then it starts going into the winter crops, so we can get that in. So,
oh wow, that's really cool, man.
So yeah, it is quite cool. And then obviously there's things that were obviously in place here beforehand, like we've got 100 kilo of Jerusalem artichokes. You know what I mean? So it's just like every year we're running out of ideas what to do with a Jerusalem artichoke.
They have these things like that, though. I feel like, just from a consumer's perspective, like, I feel like certain veg get really in for a period of time. People go nuts for like Jerusalem artichokes, and then you're like, oh, okay.
But when I first started, I was like, oh, that's really cool. How many Jerusalem artichokes do you get? He's like, I reckon about 80 to 100 kilos. I was like, right.
That's a lot.
Okay, that's a lot. Like a mushroom crate is like 3 kilos. And I'm like, yeah.
You've got to fire that out in fine dining.
We're going to do some artichoke or something.
Yeah.
The good thing is it stores so well in the ground and stuff, so it holds quite well through the frost and stuff, which gives us a bit of a...
Yeah. And are you tailoring sort of the meat dishes towards, are you sort of veg-led first then? In
summer, definitely, just because of just how much we've got in abundance here. You know, it's... Yeah, definitely. We did quite a lot of sidey bits this year, so it was quite nice to tie it in. We just got some nice woodland pork and, just tied it in nicely with that, so it was... You know, a salad, and it goes quite veg heavy in the summer, because obviously we've just got an abundance of everything in full swing. So
I think it must be really interesting, like, versus some of the guys we work with. I mean, I'm constantly amazed with how innovative everyone is. But here, being led by that garden, I think must be really cool. Cause
it is cool. It's definitely it's got its challenges, and but it does dictate the menu effectively. And then obviously we've got quite a bit of mushrooms growing around wild, and you know these are all quite challenging things to try and utilise when you've got a heap of these mushrooms that need to be
utilised.
So we just try and dry everything, or turn things into garums, or use stocks and sauces, and there's no shortage of anything here.
No. Oh, the mushroom thing I think is really interesting. Like that mushroom soy we do, like that's Flo, you were kind of the first guy to start taking that from us, and that's just gone great guns. But yeah, we try, and you've kind of influenced bizarrely like how we're looking at some of our Japanese products. We're trying to look at things which are more sort of veg focused in terms of where they'll marry that product. Excuse me, because I feel the chefs we work with are going more that way. They don't have the level of abundance in terms of garden you've got, but it's definitely something that we've seen.
I feel like people in general are going a bit more, less protein and more veg. Really, I think partly because of the cost of things, really, meat has just gone through the roof, hasn't it?
Crazy.
And I think also just demand of people who just, want to try and eat a bit more healthier, don't they? And, it's definitely, the last couple of years, I'd say, food has definitely changed. It's definitely gone less butter, less cream, less... It's gone less heavy, and people are going for lighter, stocks, dashies.
It is, I mean, in terms of our range where we're going next, like that stock, trying to find unique stocks, just as like all that sort of gear, the base... That's really where we're going, because that's where we think, you guys want a good base, and you'll build from there.
It's just clean flavours, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And the Japanese range has really sort of pushed us with that. I mean, the next thing we're kind of looking at is the like Ethiopian type herbs and spices, which I think might tie in. But again, that's very veg heavy diet, and the herbs and spices are married to that. But yeah, meat, it's been an unusual journey for us, because we were looking at organic local farmer to start stocking their gear. But yeah, I just don't think the market's there like it was. You know, it's definitely within that things that complement veg first and then the meat will marry later. Yeah. But so what are the plans for this year, dude?
Don't know.
Crazy?
Just
keep doing your thing.
Just doing it, yeah. Awesome. Yeah, to see how it goes, I guess. And dining room's really taking off, which is nice. And obviously we've been here for a year now, so we sort of know what to expect with the garden this year as well. So I feel like we'll probably be a bit more organised on it.
Yeah.
The weather's all over the place, isn't it?
Oh, it is, mate.
You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's all part of the fun, isn't it?
Awesome, brother. Well, listen, we love working with you, dude, and thanks for your time today. And I know Rianne's got some good filming to do with it. She's got a cat, new friend there. But excited to keep on seeing your journey, mate, and go from there. So people can get you on Instagram.
Instagram mostly. It's pretty much Instagram. Yeah, it's just that's it.
Awesome, buddy. Anyone listening, come try Josh's food. It's awesome, and thanks for your time.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Thanks for joining us today on this episode of Chef Life by Cottage Foods. My name's Alistair, I've been your host. Hope you found it entertaining. You can follow us on Instagram at Cottage Foods Ltd. Alternatively, you can look at our website, which is located at www.cottagefoodsLtd.com. Thanks, and see you soon.